Back, we're in section 5A. We're doing another special triangle. Just got done working with 45, 45, 90 triangles. Now we're going to do another special triangle, and this is called the 30, 60, 90 triangle theorem. This one's cool as well. You're going to have 3 different side lengths because you have 3 different angle measures, so that's not going to be the same. That's a little bit of a comparison there. Let's take a look. Your shortest side is always going to be opposite of that 30 degrees, okay? Opposite of 30 degrees. That's going to be your shortest side forever, 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 okay? That's just a known fact. We're going to call that side length S or X. It doesn't matter what the variable is, but that's where your variable is going to go, okay? AB, this is your hypotenuse, okay? So this is going to be opposite of your 90 degrees. And so you're going to double your shortest side. So whatever your shortest side is, when you double it, you now know the hypotenuse. That's really cool. All right, now BC, this is the side that's opposite of the 60-degree angle. And all you have to do is take your shortest side and multiply the square root of 3 to it, and you've got it. Okay? So let's kind of go through. I'm sure there are lots of ways to do this. We're going to not work with decimals. We are going to work with simplest radical form. And let's take example 3A and see if we can pick it apart and figure out how to work, maybe work backwards and go with it from there, okay? All right, so what do we know in letter A? Well, it's clearly marked that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Clearly marked, we can see that. It's also marked that 16 is opposite of our 90-degree angle. That is our longest side. It is our hypotenuse. Now, remember, our hypotenuse is double your shortest side. So to undo that, to get from the hypotenuse back to the shortest side, we would have to divide that by 2. So the way to find x is you would take your hypotenuse and divide it by 2. And so that would be 16 over 2, which is 8. Cool. Now y, that's your 60-degree side. That's the side opposite of your 60 degrees. And if you know your short side, and we do, so you're going to take your short leg and you're going to multiply it times the square root of 3. So that's going to be, hey, we already figured it out. That's 8 times the square root of 3. And those are your 2 sides. Okay? So I like those. I love how those work out. Let's look at B. B's a little trickier. It's clearly marked 30, 60, 90 triangle, but this time we don't know what the hypotenuse is, and we were given the 60-degree side, and that's all we know. We only know that that 60-degree side is 11, okay? So in order to work our way backwards, I'm not going to be able to go from the 60-degree side to the 90-degree. There's no real link there. I'm going to have to take the 60-degree side and work my way back to the short side. So if I want to find the x, which is my short side, I'm going to take my 60-degree side and divide that by the square root of 3. If I divide it by the square root of 3, then that's going to work my way backwards and help me get the short side. That's what it's going to do, okay? All right, so I know that that's 11. Woohoo! So I'm going to do 11 divided by the square root of 3. Remember what I said in a previous video, you can't leave radicals in a denominator. So that's okay, we know the trick. We're just going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 3, in essence, multiplying by 1. And then we'll just get 11 times the square root of 3 over 3. Okay, so that looks extremely complicated, I know, and I'm sorry. Sometimes they work out that way. But that's what the answer is. 11 times the square root of 3 divided by 3. Now, to find the hypotenuse, all we have to do is take the short leg that we now know and multiply it times 2. Okay, we can do that. So take 2, multiply it times 11 times square root of 3 over 3. Remember, you can't multiply anything that's outside of a radical to something that's inside the radical. So the best we can do is do 2 times 11, which is 22. And you have successfully doubled that hypotenuse, or that short leg, to form the hypotenuse. And there it is. Okay? Now, if you will flip the page, I've got a number of extra credits here. These are all 30, 60, 90. Give you a +4. I really want you to try these and see what you can do with it. 3A is really similar to the first one I did with you because that gives you the hypotenuse, and you can work your way backwards towards the short leg, and then of course to that medium-sized leg. And then 3B, I think you're going to have, that one's really super simple because you're starting with the short leg. So as long as you're starting with the short leg, it's really simple because all you have to do to get the medium leg is multiply by the square root of 3, and to get the hypotenuse, you multiply by 2. I love it when you start with a short leg. To me, that's the easiest one on the board. And then 3C is like the one above it. It gave you the hypotenuse. You got to work your way backwards. And then 3D is like the one I just showed you. They're giving you the medium leg, and then you got to find the short leg and the, so this one's going to be just like example 3B. Okay? So give it your best shot, and we'll check these tomorrow. Simplest radical form, please. No decimals. So you probably won't need your calculator very much. All right. Bring your questions to class. Thanks for listening.